Hey guys, today we're going to look at Ash, and we're going to ask whether or not Ash is trash. And I know everyone is looking forward to, OB52 and the release of Zin because he looks super badass and everything else. But I'm going to look at Ash, and I'm asking this question because even now, after almost over a week of her being out, people are still saying, oh, don't pick Ash, when you're in comp, or even sometimes in casual, like, Ash is trash. And I was going to look into why this may be. I wasn't really going to go over her stats and abilities because, let's be honest, we all know them by now. Instead, what I was going to go over is maybe the mindset of why she's good and why she might be considered bad, or why she may be bad in general. So what we're going to say is, alright, her two knockback abilities. Some people might consider them quite bad, because as you'll see in the background gameplay, is that a couple times I am saved from ultimates and incoming damage thanks to Ash using kinetic burst inappropriately. It's the same thing with Nora's walls back in the day. People thought that was really bad because she would block off ultimates and just other things like that. And it's the same thing with Ash. Ash does the same thing in a lot of ways if you're not careful, as you'll see in the background. And another reason is just people think, okay, you buy Resilience, her abilities are useless. And while that's true, she might not knock you back as much, I would have to disagree because you would still take the damage from both the Kinetic Burst and the Shoulder Bash. It just lessens the knockback. So she'll have a hard time pushing you out, but at the same time, you stay within her range. So she can just keep wailing on you, honestly. So in a lot of ways, I think sometimes the knockback is actually good. So I wouldn't buy Resilience. I would buy Haven before I would buy Black Shield before I would buy Resilience, just because, as you see in the gameplay, I'm knocked away from damage sometimes, and sometimes like I need to get out of, or you might need to get out of the situation, and as we'll go over, her movement ability is not the greatest for doing so. So sometimes, using another Ash or just being another character and having your move ability go down and Ash just bopping you safely out of the way is fantastic. You just want to send her a gift basket. You're like, thank you so much for saving my life. I love you. But that could be another reason why a lot of people do consider her trash, and I would agree too. If that's used inappropriately, a lot of times you can save lives instead of taking them, which is more often than not what you actually want to do. And another thing is her movement ability, as we had kind of gone over before. When she's in her movement ability, she's extremely vulnerable. It's a really, really bad escape ability for the most part, just because during the charge off, she is just a sitting duck, which is why her legendary card of the Shoulder Bash taking 90% less damage is so important if you want to use it as a both escape and aggressive ability, because she's CC immune and she takes 90% less. Because if you don't have that card, then you're kind of a sitting duck, so you kind of need to use it more as an aggressive offensive ability as opposed to running away from cage. And lastly, I would say her her fucking shield. Another thing is her shield. Her shield kind of, in a lot of ways, is viewed as pretty bad because it's kind of small and it moves forward pretty quickly unless you get the legendary that slows it down. And this is considered bad, especially for frontline, since the frontline needs to be able to hold point in a lot of times. And if her shield is moving away from her, she can't really use that to really protect her allies, much less herself. That's another reason why a lot of people consider her a bad choice. However, I personally think she's great because, while I was saying, she does have the pushback ability. If you can push back an enemy against a solid surface, like a wall or something, it's fantastic. And other times when you first get to the point, if you can just push them off the point, because they're not going to be weak or anything, just push them away and you can get some extra cap time right in the beginning or in the middle or wherever. But yeah, sometimes the pushback is good for that, and it's also good for shoving up against the wall because then you can pull off a combo. As you'll see in the gameplay, a couple times I shoulder bash, and then I kinetic burst, and then I go ahead and shoot a regular flash shot, which is like was 800, 300, and 400. I'm not going to do the math, but you can go ahead and work that out for yourself. And it feels a lot better, I would say, pulling off a combo like that. A lot better than the Shaolin one. And it feels a lot better getting hit by it too, because you can still fight back in a way. Like you can still fire. It's not like the Shaolin one, as you can tell. I really hate it. Where you just get stunned and then you just know, well, this is it. This is it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just slowly watch your health drain. But this, I am okay. I'm definitely okay with pulling it off. I don't feel scummy pulling off these combos, and I don't feel cheated when I get hit by them. When I get hit by Ash's combos, so they're pretty good working together. It feels like almost like a Street Fighter at times. That's why I think she's pretty good. And her flat cannon. Her flat cannon is the only tank with a huge burst. So I know in Ash's trailer, I believe it shows you taking down a Drogo's, which surprisingly enough, you can actually damage a Drogo's if he flies too close, which is very, very nice. And you can take them for a lot, so you don't have to be great with aim. And another thing is just shooting behind corners with her flat cannon is pretty awesome. Or shooting high ground, which, as you know, if you ever play a tank often, a lot of times enemy takes the high ground and you're kind of screwed. And you kind of have to resolve yourself to just taking that damage and hoping that one of your teammates can clear them out for you. Whereas with Ash, for instance, with the Jaguar Falls, that little bridge up top, you just get a little bit close to that bridge and just blow them away yourself. Or scare them off. Which is rather nice instead of just having to sit on the point or near the point and just having to take that damage and just praying that your team is there to take it for you. So I really like the fact that it explodes after a certain distance. It's very useful in that sense. And what is it? Her ultimate I also like a lot too, because it's like Fernando's in a lot of ways, where you're invulnerable, but at the same time you can do damage. Like, you're not just automatically taken out. So you can use it as a last-ditch survive effort, like Fernando's do at times, and at the same time you can just use it when you hear like a big, huge, powerful ult coming in. Unfortunately, unlike Fernando's, you can't really include your team in that area of invulnerability, which, as you see, she's a little bit more of a solo play in that sense with her ult, but I really like it a lot. And yeah, I think she's honestly a really great champion, and I think overall we do need more frontline people who play. You know, more people that play frontline, because let's be honest, when when Zen comes out, everyone's gonna go damage and flank, and it's just, I don't know. I think there needs to be more front lines. Personally, I love front lines, and I plan on playing Ashe long into the future. Because honestly, I love all the front lines. Even when Inara was terrible. But yeah, that's my take on Ashe. So I hope you can see the difference in the light. That is my take on Ashe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, take care.
Hold on. 30 seconds remaining.